hallmark of SK Telecom here, showing through, as he mentioned, control from start to finish. So while they suffer the loss in Game 2, typical rebound from them, not tilting and continuing to push forward.
But this is a riveting series. You know, this is not the series a lot of people predicted. If you pushed all three of us for predictions, my gut is we'd probably all say 3-0. So the fact that it has been a competitive 3 games is so heartening to see. This is one of the best SKT finals we've had, especially not just Korea for Korea, in a long time.
Yeah, this was, I think, the closest game of the 3 as well, because even when SKT looked to get that small edge, for a time we did see G2 fighting back with a kill in the top lane, a kill in the mid lane, never quite able to turn the corner in the same way SKT actually bent but didn't break against G2 in this one, and then they came across in the end.
Yeah, and I mean, I definitely argue that they weren't fully in control the whole game. I mean, this is a composition, I think, from G2 that as far as if you go super late game, you have a straight up 5v5 team fight without an incredible engage or something like that from Wolf, and I think it should go G2's way. So, you know, they were getting dangerously close to stabilizing the game where the gold lead didn't really matter, and that's when Wolf really came up big for the team.
Yeah, this is another situation where I feel like G2 had a strong draft. They controlled the Galio here, they had a pushing lane in the mid lane with Orianna, and they still had a pretty decent matchup in the bottom lane. So, liked it overall. I think both teams had close to match scaling, but this is definitely a strong draft from G2, and I like their team comp more.
All right, let's take a look at our first replay. This one comes pretty early on. G2 invading into SKT's jungle. SKT has something to say about it, picking up 3 kills.
The first mechanic to really look at here is the Trick ults very late. If he had ulted earlier, Mithy wouldn't have come so far into basically past the Raptors. Wolf, once again, we'll get back to him later, comes up, hits the ult, and this is a punish after it had been a good early game from G2.
And that ultimate you're talking about is to actually immune the kick from the Lee Sin, so he doesn't get pushed farther up. His support has to come up and support him. That gets both of them killed because the TP has time to come through, also gets Perks killed. That really was a big game changer and something that you'd hope to see something better from Trick on.
Right, that's millisecond decisions though, right? You know, in the moment, are you going to blow the ult? Are you not? Do you even know if everyone's there? Let's go ahead and push forward to our Acer replay here. This is a big one from SKT. You already hit it. Wolf coming up big in the mid lane.
Just able to hit both carries. Perks CC chained.
The equalizer also was clean.
Everything about this fight for SKT was awesome. And this was an incredibly pivotal moment in the game because it looked like G2 was about to get control back from SKT, but MVP play there from Wolf.
Yeah, I mean, the guy said it. If you don't think he's the best support in the world, you don't understand the game. And he's making a case here.
Yeah, Wolf said it.
He's making a case here for himself. I mean, he is coming up with such a big play at the critical time when it felt like G2 really had stabilized and perhaps could take control.
But again, one thing I want fans to really understand is, of course, from this, they largely got their big advantage and closed it, is that it required an insane play, a superstar moment, an MSI moment for them to actually win this game. On the balance, it looked like G2 would get over the line. So even G2 forcing what is one of the greatest plays of this tournament without a doubt out of SKT just to go 2-1 up in a series is G2 doing Europe proud and being a contender for this tournament.
It's one of those classic MSI moments, you know, really brings me back to Mata and his Alistar play from last year, and that was kind of iconic, and I think that this play, similarly, different champion, but it's the same idea. It's coming up big when your team needs you, and it's those kind of plays that mean this guy, you know, he's a 2-time world champion for a reason.
And to me, this reflects on what we were talking about at the beginning of the day. For G2, this entire year has been about that road to redemption. Well, yesterday they completed that journey, right? And today marks the start of a new journey, that reach for greatness, and they feel, it looks like they're playing unbridled, right? That they have this kind of new freeing feeling that they can play and really push the limits with.
They absolutely are, and there's still those little things that you can tell they really let get to them in that game. Expect the facepalm after the death in the top lane, so close. Perks, questionable summoner spell choice with barrier over cleanse. There were multiple times where the cleanse would have saved him, and it did in game 2 when he brought cleanse against the Ahri. So those are the little things that sometimes you forget about because you have this Titan you're trying to play against an SKT and you're doing it, but you do have to do pretty much everything right.
But there's been 3 games, and none of those 3 games have had that inevitability period. We talked about how in game 2 especially, G2 subverted that and actually got a big lead and stopped it from being run over. It feels like once again we've had 3 games which could have gone kind of either way, which again has me hyped. I've watched so much SKT. Not many teams in Korea could push them like they are here, G2, and that's awesome.
Yeah, even in the LCK finals, KT Rolster, the team designed to beat SKT,
they rolled over
3-0. They tried to go early game, and almost all of them got smashed. G2 is finding something that can make them struggle, as they said they would.
And what's funny is this is typically the part of the segment where I turn to you guys and I go, okay, we're going to game 4. How does G2 mount to victory? But I don't feel like G2 needs to change much. Again, as we've mentioned, all 3 of these games have had their opportunities to win. It seems like they themselves are confident in the style that they've brought to the table. And so it really is about just, all right, stepping up within the moment, eliminating those minor mistakes.
Yeah, I also feel like this series has become a bit of an arms race for who can get the better late-game team fighting composition. But I will say this. I don't think SKT has used their trump card yet, right?
All right.
You get into these arms races with SKT, and you get to feel like you're close to it. Maybe they go early game. Maybe Faker has a pick we haven't seen before.
Oh, baby.
Maybe they pull out, and it's actually good.
Let's go.
They always have something every time they're pushed. And even though they're executing with this one, maybe we wouldn't see it until we see a Game 5. But maybe they break from this arms race and punish G2.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. But for me in the drafts, G2 has been getting the better of it because Trick has proven he's a threat on so many different champions. Expect has shown that he can play the GP into the Galio. People have to ban Fiora against him already. And they're showing the flexibility and proving themselves on so many different champions that SKT is having to respect that. And it's giving G2 draft advantage.
No passengers. You know, there's no passengers on G2, and that's already, again, another thing. There's no weak point to attack, at least based on 3 games here, and that's why I think it will have to be an SKT trump card if it's pushed to that, because right now, I can't tell you ban out expect, ban out trick, because everyone's got multiple strings to their bow.
I want a Game 5. We'll see if we get it. SK Telecom are just 1 win shy of defending their MSI title. Don't touch that browser. It's match point when we return.
There's a lot of people today. It's a bit crowded.
The Sonic wave, and he might be able to run away, but Hoonie's gonna have a slow soon. The flash, gonna get away with it. One more hit, can't make it happen. First blood, finally, vengeance for SKT.
I think we can die for Syra.
Come the teleport in, use the snipe in. Wolf's gonna get the double knock, and this is gonna be an absolute slaughter. Minty's got no way out. SKT wiping the floor with G2. They're on top, and Perks is down. 1-for-0 with no shot, with a trade only on a support and Sven. Not gonna make it much longer as well. The chase is in. Look at the beautiful plays out of Faker. They will be 1 win away from maintaining their crown. G2 trying to stop, but it's not gonna happen. The minions will close it out. Wolf with the